The hobby has changed. I feel it in the sales. I feel it on social media. I smell it at the Comic Cons. Much that once was is lost, for none now collect who remember it. It began with the printing of the greatest superhero comic ever. 300,000 copies were shipped to newsstands, rare and desirable issues among elites. 700,000 copies went to LCSs for readers and collectors to enjoy. And 900,000 copies were sold to speculators, who above all else desire private islands. For within these copies was bound the strength and ability to bring collectors to the moon. But they were all of them deceived, for another copy was made. In the land of Illinois, in the inks just outside St. Louis, the Dark Lord Tom DeFalco forged in secret a master copy to control all others. And into this copy he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to flex on all other Darkhawk collectors. One copy to rule them all. Precious. My precious. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Swaggle. And in this video, we are unboxing the greatest Grail in the history of comic book Grailz. That is right. A very, very special unboxing here today on the YouTube channel. An amazing gift, no less, from somebody over on the Instagram space. And in this video, we're going to do this unboxing. I'm going to get into it. We're going to show you guys the greatest Grail comic book double cover in the history of comic books. But before I get into it, if you guys could drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, helps support the channel doing these things, I appreciate it. But let us get into this unboxing here today. Now, probably from the intro, you guys know what comic book I'm about to show you, but we still got to, go through. We still got to do the unboxing, and then I can explain to you guys the story of how this all came about. Let me just get through this packaging here. Oh, yes. I feel a sudden ominous darkness talking to me, whispering, saying something. Precious. My precious. Oh, we're still recording. So anyways, guys, the unboxing I have here today is, no joke, the greatest Darkhawk #1 in all of the comic book collecting market. Darkhawk #1, CGC 9.8 white pages, 2 times over. Double cover all the way across the rainbow sky. Double cover, first cover 9.8, second cover 9.8. A double cover Darkhawk 1. How crazy is this? How unbelievable is this? That a copy of this actually exists. Now, just in case you guys don't actually know what a double cover is that sometimes during the process of manufacturing, when they would be printing a bunch of these, Darkhawk #1s or whatever, the ink upon the printing could be like a little bit too wet. And sometimes those covers would actually stick together. So, right, they would make the pages first, and then they would make the covers, and then they would go through a machine, and the machine would staple them all together. And sometimes the covers would get stuck together. And every now and again, it's fairly rare, but every now and again, you'll see a comic book that has 2 covers. So if I was actually able to open the first cover right here, you would see another Darkhawk 1 cover on it. There's also been instances where comic books have been stapled together where there's 3 covers on it, there's 4 covers on it. I think there's even an ASM 361 that had 5 covers on it. And these have become, kind of interesting, rare collectibles in the comic book space. Later on in the video, I'll kind of get into it and I'll show you guys a few more examples of double covers. And this is a pretty rare occurrence that this has actually happened. I don't actually know if I've ever heard of or seen a Darkhawk #1 having a double cover. I'm sure I would have been tagged in various pictures of it had it ever existed beforehand. And I know this because I was actually tagged in the post that was selling this comic book many times over, which I guess, takes me to the story of how this all went down, which I have to, share with you guys because I think it's such an incredible story and it ended up being a gift. And I'm just blown away with the fact that I have this now in my collection. So let me kind of break this down, show you guys how this all came about. Grailz Comics, the Instagram consignment page, friends of the channel here. We've made videos here on the channel where I've done market reports for books that have been sold on their consignment page from time to time. They happen to have this one post in particular that came up just the other week, this Darkhawk #1 right here in a CGC 9.8 double cover. There you guys can see double cover, first cover 9.8, interior cover 9.8. And as soon as this post was created, I got a flurry of Instagram tags hitting my notification feed where everybody, thought of me as soon as this comic book showed up. It's nice to be thought of. It's definitely a really nice feeling to be thought of, especially in relation to the greatest comic book character ever created. So that was actually really cool. I really appreciate everyone doing the tags here. And as you guys can see, the listed price for this thing was $1,500 shipped. And when I saw that, I was like, I was interested. I was definitely very tempted. I just don't know if I was tempted enough to pony up $1,500 personally. I know you guys are thinking that's blasphemous. What true Darkhawk fan wouldn't pay $1,500 for a double cover Darkhawk comic book? But it is truly nice to have friends and viewers in high places because Impact Guy 1999, otherwise known as Ron, a viewer of the channel who I've spoken to many, many times, has an incredible collection. As you guys can see right here, posted, "I'm going to buy this for Swaggle Haas Comics. Claim itches." And so he actually bought this comic for me, which was totally bananas. I instantly messaged Ron. I was like, "Ron, you can't do this. It's too nice of you. I can't accept it." And he was like, No. For the memes, we got to do it. We got to do it for the memes. And so I humbly accepted this piece. And this is going to be the crown jewel of my collection, the ultimate Darkhawk meme book, double cover all the way across the sky. Definitely going on the wall. And it's really cool to have this because I think that this is probably the only copy that exists. And I will never sell it because this is going to be the ultimate Darkhawk flex amongst all other Darkhawk collectors. I don't care what anyone offers me for this comic book, although I'd love to hear you guys make offers in the comments. And Ron, just so you know, if we get $1 million offer, we might have to take it. And I honestly, jokes aside, I have to say, Ron, thank you so much for buying this. This is definitely one of the nicest gifts I've ever got from anyone. And so it's pretty crazy to have that. Next video on the YouTube, guys, is going to be me explaining to you how to get a free $1,500 comic book. A little bit of a preview. All you have to do is create a YouTube channel, make videos for the better part of 3 years, build up a little bit of an audience to have people in high places watch your channel, friend a lot of people in the community, and then maybe one day, as you become associated with a random character that nobody cares about, somebody out there will buy a comic book for you. So it can happen. Anything is possible, Kevin Garnett. But let's talk about double covers for a second, transition to some kind of other part of the video that I think might be interesting to talk about. Of course, I kind of already explained how double covers had been created, and you see them from time to time in different comic books. Here's like a CGC forum where people were talking about double covers, and a lot of people were sort of asking, like, how do you price something like this? And the truth is, it is a little bit difficult to price double covers because they're a kind of eclectic sort of collector that would want something like this. I think most people, generally speaking, do like double covers, but it really is just going to depend on, what cover you actually have the double cover on. Like an example of this, X-Men 200. This is, for the most part, a $5 to $10 book. How much more can you really expect a double cover to cost for something like this? Maybe you could get 20, 25. I mean, maybe you can get 50 if somebody thought it was really, really cool. So, you know, a 2x to 3x value, I think, is expected. But then there's some bananas ones like this, Flipmo Comics, who recently found a collection, got a Journey into Mystery #1 that had a double cover, as you guys can see right there. So it really depends on what key book has the double cover, or if it in fact is a key. And then it also depends, like, I mean, are we talking a double cover? Are we talking a triple cover? And then of course it also depends on the collector. I mean, is somebody actually willing to pay that much for a comic book, or how many people, I should say, are willing to pay that much for a comic book? Shout out to Dave, Comic Book Investments, who I've had conversations with before. He actually did a great video talking about double covers and was able to sort of find out that, you know, depending on the situation, certainly it's going to get 2x the cost of the fair market value, depending on what grade it actually is. In many times, it can get 3x the fair market value. And then sometimes, you know, depending on how rare or how unique it is, someone might pay upwards of 4x, generally speaking. And so this one is kind of an interesting case study because it is the first appearance and it is the #1 issue. As I showed you guys with some of those examples, you know, sometimes they're for random fill books. The Marvel premiere that had the first appearance of Iron Fist is also a very cool one that has a double cover. But one of the other things to talk about with this is that it's cool that both covers were actually graded 9.8, because actually another thing to mention with the double covers is oftentimes the exterior cover will be lower grade than that of the interior cover. And that has everything to do with the fact that, you know, if this thing was to, you know, get any damages throughout the years of like kids touching it and throwing it and deaths and all that stuff, the exterior cover would be the one that probably got, you know, those damages and creases and spine ticks. And then the interior cover would actually be protected in the case. And actually how CGC does it is that CGC will give the grade for the highest graded cover. So if this book had, say, 5 covers and the exterior cover was a 1.0 and then interior was a 4.0 and then that interior was, you know, a 6.0 and then it went all the way into the most interior cover and that was a 9.8, well, the grade you would see on top of the label is in fact a 9.8. But this right here actually has 2 9.8s. So this is a true 1-of-1 double cover Darkhawk comic. And I am very, very interested if anyone is out there who has ever seen another Darkhawk comic. In my opinion, this is probably the most rare Darkhawk one there is. One copy to rule them all. And it is my precious. I don't know what to say anymore. I'm just rambling. This is definitely going on the wall behind me. Going in the special corner, the sentimental corner of comic books right here. And this is cool because for the longest time, I've wanted to have Darkhawk #1 behind me. But truth be told, as much as I love Darkhawk, I've never really felt like, you know, value-wise. He belonged back there. I know it's sacrilege, but I never felt like he was worthy. You know, he hangs out over here off camera to me. But because of this, this one definitely is well worthy. So big shout out to Ron. Thank you so much for hooking me up with this comic book. Big shout out to Grailz Comics for consigning this. Prince of Cheese also for being the one that actually found this comic book, which is pretty amazing. And everybody on Instagram who actually tagged me for this comic book. It's definitely something that I was heavily considering getting. I wasn't sure if I was willing to, you know, actually bite the bullet on that price, but I am a super lucky guy. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. That was me unboxing my precious Darkhawk #1 double cover. Pretty amazing find, to be honest. Pretty amazing find. Yeah, make me an offer, guys, so that I can refuse it in the comments. Anyways, that's all I got for this video. Like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.